tallest skyscrapers
Starring
at 381.
The Mandalorian. So many Mandalorians.
Is the biggest park in New York.
With the X-Men.
There is
As
also
many as
a
we can
lake,
put
a
there.
zoo, and 2
Also
ice
starring Doctor Doom.
is one of the busiest parts of New York. It is known for its colorful neon lights.
Batgirl.
New York. Hot dog vendors sell them on the streets and serve them.
Starlight from The Boys.
From the people of France in October of 1880.
Batman and Robin.
Same site as the Twin Towers were. The tower itself is 1,776 feet tall. So you can also go
Dazzler. And your
to your best
hosts,
option. You'll get a great view at sunset
Chad
over Lower Manhattan.
and Brian.
It's here.
Comic-Con is here. Time to go to Comic-Con.
It's New York City Comic Con Day.
Are you filming right now?
You should be too. This is where we finally get together after we got ready. The next room. No, we didn't. We went right in.
Here are your hosts, Chad and Brian.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us today. This one's going to be a fun one. We're going to take a look throughout our entire day at New York Comic Con. We spent Saturday there, which is being said to be the most crowded day ever at New York Comic Con. Let's look at us going in.
No, we didn't. We went right in.
We took a look at some booths as soon as we got there, looked at some of the best booths we had there.
Just about every single socket, if not all of them for sure. What size shoe do you wear? Women's 8, maybe right at a medium. Yep. So mediums are always listed.
There. She won't be mad at you. She won't be mad at you. You know, I'll be looking at some stuff. I'll be like, ooh. I didn't like that.
Goku Clown.
Rorschach is awesome. These are all like ridiculously expensive ones. Stanley autographed.
It was way more overwhelming than we could have imagined it would have been.
Oh, absolutely. I haven't been there since 2015, and this was a different experience. The corralling at the beginning, I didn't experience that the last time I went.
I have.
The amount of people was familiar to me, but the ability to move around was much more restrained. And I don't know about you, but I found filming things to be a little
Filming
bit
things
difficult.
difficult. We didn't film as much as we wanted to because and every time you moved, someone was bumping into you.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a little bit of trouble there. But we're going to show you as much as we can, and we're going to do it in a very fun way.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you stick with us to the end. Our musical guest is Dazzler, so stay tuned. The first thing we're going to look at is Xavier Mansion had their own store. They had their college store at New York Comic Con. Brian's joining the school. He's enrolling. His mutant ability is not to walk anymore.
Oh, that's nice.
The backpack.
The hats are cool.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Shirts are nice too, like the old school shirts.
Hey, buddy, you here? What's your plan? They give you a bag for it? It's like, where do we go when you're
Oh look, no one's here.
We have like the old school X-Men stuff.
I like that.
Could not be further away from what that was. Break down what's going on. I really understand.
One of the booths we saw was from Z2 Comics.
Party on, Brian. I'm leaving this.
I can't believe it. Okay.
Collectors Confessions World. Collectors Confessions World.
So
Party time. Excellent.
one of the booths we saw was from Z2 Comics that publish graphic novels based on famous heavy metal albums. A lot of people out there are probably familiar with the Anthrax Among the Living one, which is an anthology with each story in there based on a different song from the album. But they also had, as you can see on our video, they had a graphic novel based on Judas Priest's album Screaming for Vengeance. They had a graphic novel based on Pantera's Vulgar Display of Power, plus different ones from Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. I think I saw a Billy Idol one while we were there.
You're going to explain the Anthrax one.
Right, yeah, we can cut right now to a video of me talking about the Anthrax Among the Living graphic novel.
Party on.
Well, this is a graphic novel based on the Anthrax album Among the Living from '88.
Can you see the inside of it?
Yeah. It's all different stories from different writers. Here's Brian Posehn, comedian, and a few other artists.
And it's based
writers.
on the album.
Each story has a loose interpretation of the stories on the album.
Okay. Cool.
And got Judas Priest.
Is it Weird Al's album still?
Well, those are his songs illustrated. The Illustrated Al is a series of different books.
Joan Jett.
Ooh, yeah, that's cool. Laurie Amos. Yeah, very nice. I like all that.
Say it.
Party on.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ryan's making a second purchase today.
Second purchase, We Suck Comics from, what do you got here? Wayward Raven. Wayward Raven Media.
Perfect.
So I'm continuing my trend of buying only indie stuff here today. It doesn't get any more indie than us.
That's what you normally buy.
Great thing about Wayward Raven, home brewed.
Nice.
So you've got an Oktoberfest or a Hefeweizen.
So you get to pick which one you want. You get a free beer with that
I'm gonna
purchase.
take,
How good is that? A free beer with the purchase of a comic.
It's on the book? Sure. Oh yeah, we know it.
Is it cold?
No, it's not. You're gonna drink it outside, aren't you? I'm drinking it off.
We're going to drink it before we leave here. What are you talking about?
Unless you were allowed to. But... sometimes a couple conventions. You hear about that. Usually it's concession stand. Yeah. Can't sell product.
Right. You can't sell them, you give it away.
You gave it away. He's signing it too. He's signing it too. We're not doing that, but it's like, no, we're going to kick you out. We're like, whatever, we're putting it away for that was a couple years ago. Yeah. We entered you guys in. And $15 more, you get a beer.
Where are you guys based?
I'm in Jersey City. The other guys from Connecticut. We suck at comics because we believe in truth and advertising. We've been doing this for so long. We finally admitted to ourselves we kind of suck at this, but not really, because all these are really cool stories. All of them are either about the theme of rejection or that have been rejected. Hence the name. We suck at comics.
Perfect.
And as you see, it's comics, prose, a little bit of an anime manga style as well. Very wide range of stories. Some of which are for people who've never been published before. So it's like we're really big on promoting each other, like that's Jeff over here.
Hi, Jeff.
Good evening, I'm Chad from Collector's Confessions.
Good evening, I'm Brian from Collector's Confessions.
And this is the news from New York Comic Con. Somebody, we don't know who, pooped, that's right, pooped on the convention floor. It was discovered right outside of Artist Alley. Maybe someone was upset with the price that Rob Liefeld was charging.
My money is on Al Milgrom.
Our friend Al Milgrom.
The nicest guy in the world, and I'm going to accuse him. Yes.
Other news from the Comic-Con floor. Charlie Cox, that's right, Daredevil from the Marvel Universe, was dressed up as children's favorite Bluey and walking around the convention floor. Lots of fun when celebrities dress up as children's characters.
In other news from Comic-Con, Super 7 premiered a new line of rapper figures. We saw figures based on Biz Markie, 2 different figures of Slick Rick, and Run DMC, and a 3-pack of the Beastie Boys Sabotage figures. Unfortunately, at last count, the Slick Rick figures will not be available anytime soon since they are set to be deported to England.
Once upon a time, not long ago. Other news from the convention floor. Charlie Cox was not the only celebrity dressing up for the convention. Eli Manning, New York Giants great quarterback and all-around fun guy, dressed up as the NFL Super Pro. That's right. Eli Manning was dressed up as the NFL Super Pro and walking around the convention floor on Thursday, the least crowded day, as opposed to Saturday, the most crowded day.
Also, there was a tremendous G.I. Joe display of the armored base from Super 7. Super 7 has been putting out a lot of G.I. Joe figures lately, and this playset is just massive and unbelievable and really, really cool, and will probably set you back a mortgage payment.
Yeah, it was like $900, I believe.
Also, there was a table selling tons of unbelievably great Godzilla statues. And one of them actually was looming over me at one point.
He attacked you. Finally, Jessica Rabbit has a new love interest. It's Brian. That's right, Brian has fallen in love with Jessica Rabbit from the convention.
I have no comment at this time.
He is no commenting. In other news, he no comments. Before we go, I'll leave you with a joke. What do you call Iron Man when he loses his suit? Stark naked.
Oh.
Thank you for joining us on Weekend Update from New York Comic Con. We'll see you next year.
I'm sorry.
What, that you fell in love with Jessica Rabbit? This is the first installment of Chad and Brian on art. So we're going to look at art that we saw at New York Comic Con, not Art the Clown, actual art, original comic book art.
That was one of my favorite things about going this year. I don't know if it was that there wasn't as much of this the last time I went in 2015, but I have to say I did notice a lot more original art for sale.
I
mean some really high quality stuff.
But I think also when we were in that area, there was a lot less people there than anywhere else.
Yeah, probably.
So it was a lot less crowded. We actually had a chance,
to really
stand there and look at it, and we took some, good pictures of it. So we're going to look at some of the artwork that we saw at New York Comic Con, we're
Yes.
doing this just for you, so you can see
Right.
some of the stuff is one of a kind,
Yeah, and some of it is iconic, and some of it is infamous.
infamous. And the first one we'll start with an infamous one.
Infamous.
Rob Liefeld's Captain America cover is often panned.
It's often used as an example of showing that Rob Liefeld was not really a very good artist.
So we'll look at Captain America's chest.
It's a little unfair, I think. It's a weird picture for sure.
What he would
but
look
calling
like.
him
What his skeleton would look like.
It would
always
be
made me
awful,
laugh
yeah.
because his chest is so big.
right, but there were other things that Liefeld did that weren't bad. This
Except
was just an
for
exceptional.
feet.
Well, feet, yeah, but this is just an exceptionally bad drawing of
And this
Captain
is
America.
later in
Yes.
this is after
This is during the
Image.
Heroes
Heroes Reborn.
Reborn era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is after all this Image stuff. And,
Right.
listen, don't get me wrong at all. I am a fan. So
Sure.
he does covers now. He does variant covers now from Marvel.
Yeah.
Occasionally, I will buy every one of his variant covers. He just reminds me of a time when comics were really probably the most important thing to me at that point. Early
Yeah.
'90s, comics were really
Yeah.
huge for
And they
me
were
and Brian.
extreme.
And they were extreme, and everybody had muscles, and everybody had 1,000 pockets. If you didn't have pockets, it wasn't cool. And remember, he had given us Deadpool
Yeah.
and Gideon
True enough.
and some other memorable characters.
Yep.
From he created Grifter, didn't he? That's
No, that was Jim Lee.
That's Jim Lee.
Jim
So
Lee,
he's
yeah.
he's best known. Well, Cable.
Cable. Yep. Created Cable.
Deadpool.
Great
So
character.
that's. I mean, we're starting off with the one that we're gonna make it.
Yeah.
Right. The next one is Frank Miller's Batman and Robin.
This was so cool to see in person.
Really, really cool.
Because a lot of original art that you see, it doesn't look as good as it does when it's finished. This had a look that was just exceptional. It looks, it's not finished, of course, it's not inked or colored, but it's beautiful even just the way you see it.
Yeah.
It's just an awesome piece.
Awesome piece, and
Yeah.
right away, it's one of those ones where you see this drawing and you know that it's Frank Miller.
Miller,
You knew it was
yeah.
Frank Miller's Batman from
Yeah.
a time from the early 1980s,
Right.
when he drew The Dark Knight Returns, and it was just
Yeah.
and that's why we spent a lot of time in this area, just because it was like one of those wow, look at that. Then
Yeah.
you look at the next thing, you're like, wow, look at this thing.
Yeah, no, then some of the stuff was just amazing.
And the next
Amazing.
things are amazing. They actually had Jack Kirby stuff, and they actually had
Oh.
Jack Kirby cover from What If number 20. No, from What If it was What If the bullpen had Fantastic Four's power.
Yes, so it was Stan and Jack and
as the Fantastic
yeah, a few
Four.
other people
So it
as
was
Fantastic Four.
It's just, and it was the full cover from Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
which is,
And seeing Kirby's artwork in person is just a different experience.
if I had money, it would be the first artist I would go and buy a Kirby piece. And we were even talking before we saw that. We were saying that there's no way there's Jack Kirby stuff out there.
Yeah.
And
Well, because infamously, a lot of his art was kept by Marvel and DC. Some of it was destroyed. Some of it was stolen and sold on collectors' markets later.
I know there's stories of people pulling them out of garbage.
Garbage bins and stuff. Yeah.
Which is unbelievable to me that you would be throwing away. Now they're works of art. Back then they weren't considered works of art.
No.
For us, they're works
They
of
were
art.
beautiful, beautiful things.
And it wasn't the only one we saw. There was a Kirby page from Fantastic Four number 28,
Yep.
page 10, which
Yep.
again, is
Really nice.
Kirby Fantastic Four is amazing
Yeah,
stuff.
it's really
I
amazingly
would
done.
definitely buy Kirby art if I had the money.
Yeah.
So subscribe and
Yeah.
give us thanks and join us.
Join Patreon.
I will use the money after I finish the Fantastic Four run. I will buy Fantastic
Then we will
Four
be
art,
holding that in person
We'll be
rather
artists.
than having it projected.
and maybe we'll give some of them away too.
You never.
We saw Sandman.
Right, the Sandman. Yes, which was I think it was. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. It might have been when Kelly Griffin.
Yes, I
doing
believe it was.
Yeah,
I don't
it
know
was
nothing
from one of
about
the
the
earlier
Sandman.
stories. It is so nice. I mean, if I'm wrong, you just put a little subtitle down
Yeah,
here.
I'll correct him.
Yeah, you can correct me down below. It's one of the early stories of the Sandman. It's no, I'm sorry. It was from his confrontation with Hippolyta Hall.
We didn't say
after
we were
he
good
confronts
artists.
after he confronts the Jack Kirby Joe Simon Sandman, and then claims the baby of that Sandman and his wife, Morpheus. It's that conversation between him and Hippolyta Hall.
It's very,
Yes,
very
that's
good.
That's what you said that when
Yep.
you're it's Hippolyte
Yeah,
Hall
it's
now.
very, very
that
cool.
was another really.
That was-
Brian's a big Sandman fan.
I love Sandman,
It was
yeah,
cool
and
to see that.
That was really cool to see in person.
Brian's a big Sandman fan. I'm a big Justice League of America fan, and we saw one of the covers that I bought within the last couple of years. Justice League of America number 35
Yep.
cover by Mike Sikowski and Murphy Anderson, and they were selling it for a cool $180,000.
$180,000.
$180,000 for this
Yeah.
cover right here.
Right.
It's
Well, Sikowski was the original artist on
Yeah.
Justice League, right? From Brandon
yeah.
Bolt?
This is issue
Right.
35. And
Yeah.
he took the reins for that for a while. It's just, I mean, to me, when I see something, it's a piece of history. I'm looking
Yeah,
at it.
no, it's awesome.
It's all of these are one of a kind. There's no other Justice League of America number 35 cover. There's no
Yeah.
other Kirby pages.
Yeah.
Kirby didn't do multiple drawings of a page. It's
No.
one drawing, and that's what they
No.
use for the comic book. That's it.
And again, like I said, seeing this artwork in person, it's a different experience. It's very, very different.
And again, I could see myself going into an art museum just to look at pages.
Oh, sure.
Of
Yeah.
comic art.
Yeah.
And I have. I've
They
done
must
that
have
before.
done that before.
We went to an exhibit a couple years back in Philly. At the Philly Museum, they had an exhibition of all
Yeah.
art and stuff, art, comic art. We also saw John Byrne. We're She-Hulk fans here. Sensational She-Hulk number 39. It is the splash page. It shows The Thing.
Yeah.
Which was, I love Byrne is another one. As soon as you see it, I don't even have to look to see who it is.
Right.
I know it's John Byrne.
Now, see, that's one of the things about this comic convention that I really, really enjoyed is that sort of that paying homage to these really tremendous creators. Frank Miller, Jack Kirby, Mike Sikowski, and John Byrne. I mean, John Byrne's one of the best
One of the
ever, best writers and best artists. I'm actually reading Man of Steel now. I've never read it before.
Yeah.
The one from the mid '80s,
I
post
bought it
crisis.
as it came out.
Oh,
It
it's
came out
so
on the news, out to the comic shop.
what
I
a
went there and
great,
got it.
what a great story.
Yeah, and this, I mean,
Yeah.
these are not things that you can't go to a show and expect to see something like this.
No.
And it was just, it took us off that this is so cool that we're looking at art from the hands of people that we really are. We consider them our heroes.
Yeah,
as
absolutely,
artists.
absolutely. Yes.
I mean, Jack Kirby is definitely one of the reasons why I still collect comic books.
Yeah.
We saw Jim Ballant, Catwoman number 15.
Right.
It's the final page in that issue. It just looked not like the other stuff we were looking at.
No, it was.
It really stands out on its own.
Yeah, it does. It's definitely a unique piece.
Looks like some of the cosplay we saw.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Again, just like Captain America, a little bit bigger in certain areas.
A little exaggerated, maybe.
And finally, what we saw was Brian's favorite one, the one that he stopped in mid-walk to look at.
Well, Bill Wenzel is a single panel comic illustrator and writer. He does little, like the Far Side, like single panel kind of things. And he did a lot of work for Playboy magazine in the 50s and 60s. His jokes are kind of like, a little naughty. His women are always sort of these like voluptuous, these sort of voluptuous femme fatales who are usually paired with schnooks. And there are jokes about women and men in relationships. It's fun stuff and the kind of stuff that you don't see a lot anymore.
And especially at a Comic-Con.
No, and I didn't expect to see any of his work at Comic-Con.
I really wondered how many of these things actually ended up selling.
I can't imagine a lot of them because the prices were just.
But that's the thing. I think that just gets you into the booth. So you put a Jack Kirby up, you put a Frank Miller up, you put a Bill Wenzel up, and it brings me over. It brought us over. Yeah. And we started flipping through some of the books, just looking at some of the less expensive art. But still, for me, I don't know where I would put it.
No, and a lot of the people who were selling the art had sort of big binders of different things. I really didn't get much of a chance to look through those binders.
This is one of the biggest differences between the convention we usually go to. If you watch other videos, we go to a lot of smaller conventions. Right. And this New York Comic Con brings out all different kinds of vendors.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a dealer selling art at a local convention that we go to. And we love the local conventions. We're not putting them down.
No, I know those are my favorites. Yeah.
We are a little bit like this on New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
The reason we would go back next year is something more like this.
More
we
of the
would
art.
more look at the
original
art than anything else. And that was
especially if we do well on Patreon.
Yeah, we'll be buying some next year, So with this one, it's our first installment of Chad and Brian, Art Critics.
Art Critics.
We'll call ourselves Art Critics now.
Sure.
Look for the t-shirt.
Yeah, meet us in the museum.
Comic Art Critic. Coming soon to a comic collector's confession store.
Unqualified art critic.
Let's take a little break.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
The daughters are taking over.
I'm Colleen.
I'm Cassidy.
And we're Chad's daughters, so we're going to show you our haul from New York City Comic Con. I'm just going to start off with this big giant bag. You're not going to be able to see the whole thing, but this is what they were giving out. This is what they were giving out if you bought anything from Loungefly or Funko. So I did buy a Loungefly from there. I got this Coraline one. Coraline's one of my favorite movies, so I had to get it. I'm not sure if it was a con exclusive, but it could have been.
Okay, one of the first things I bought was just this simple fidget ring. It has stars on it. But it was $10 and I thought that was pretty good.
Alright, next I'm going to show off this tote bag that I got. It says Believe on it. This is from Ted Lasso. I just thought it was really cute, and I mean, even though it's from Ted Lasso, it could just kind of like be from anything. It's just like a cute quote.
I will also show the tote bag I bought. I bought a tote bag that has a Loth Cat on it from Ahsoka and Rebels. I love it, and I will be using those every day from now on.
I also got this. This is a Christmas present, so I'm not going to take it out of the box because I don't want to reveal what it is. And this is also a Christmas present, but it's like a hanging tapestry with like a little quote on it. Go ahead, you can go.
Okay. We also got, it's a Funko New York Comic Con exclusive, so it's the Pizza Rat that, if you live in New York, you've seen the video of the Pizza Rat.
Then I got this for myself. It's actually a cutting board, but it's tempered glass, so it's like texturized, and it can be used as a cutting board, dishwasher safe. Obviously it's from Doctor Who, but I thought it was really cute, even just as an art piece, even if I don't use it as a cutting board. It's just like really pretty to have displayed somewhere.
So I actually got this for free. I am a huge fan of both horror and musicals, and apparently there's currently Goosebumps the musical. I did not know this, but so they're not on Broadway yet, but they are touring different places. I got a free poster for following the Instagram. They were also handing out stickers, little bouncy balls. So this is signed by the writer of it. I thought this was really cool, and I think everyone should go check out Goosebumps the musical.
Okay. Next I have something, again, for myself. So this is a potion bottle from Minecraft. It lights up all different colors. Like when you tap the side, it cycles through them. I already took this out of the box, but I thought it was really cute. I love playing Minecraft, so I thought it would be really cute to have displayed like for when I'm playing games at night and stuff like that.
Okay, the next thing I got is, it is a Scooby-Doo like tiny figure set, so they're all, I will turn around. They're all glow in the dark, so it comes with Shaggy and Scooby and then a bunch of the different villains from Scooby-Doo. It's also a convention exclusive, so, and it was only $30, which,
that's not bad.
It's a convention exclusive. I love Scooby-Doo, so I bought this.
From the same place as that, I actually pre-ordered something. It was a D100 box. It had a jacket, a bag, a water bottle, a lanyard, and then I think 5 enamel pins. I ordered it from online, but you could also have ordered it at the convention. I just thought it was really cute. Obviously I love Disney, so I feel like it was only $100, which for all those items and also being like exclusive, I felt like it was a pretty good deal.
Yeah, and that shop was called Culturefly.
Yeah,
that we bought this stuff from.
They were selling a lot of their things online as well. So if you ever want to check out any of their stuff, you definitely could.
And then from that same place, I bought, it was like a mystery figure, but so they had like a Stitch mystery, so I got Stitch with a little pineapple.
Okay, my last thing that I have, this is from the same place that I got the Minecraft potion bottle. Do you remember the name of the place? It was like Noble Creations, I think it was called. They also had a online website.
Noble Collections.
Oh, Noble Collections, that's it. They had like a Jumanji board. They had a whole bunch of different chess boards, some really cool figures.
Yeah, figures from Harry Potter, Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Jurassic Park, a whole bunch of different things. I think a lot of the stuff they were selling was for display, and they were selling it online, so I guess you could check them out if you wanted to get any of that stuff. But something they were selling at the convention is this Minecraft chess set. I got this for my boyfriend. I saw it and he also loves Minecraft, so I felt like I had to get it. The black pieces are all like the mobs for Minecraft, and then the white pieces are like the villagers and Steve. They had it displayed there and I just thought it looked like really pretty, so I was like, I have to get it. So okay, finish it up. That was my last thing.
Now starts my art haul, because I always buy art at conventions. So the first thing I got was this Percy Jackson bookmark. I'm pretty sure I'm going to give it to one of my friends because she loves Percy Jackson. And then some of the stickers I bought. I put stickers on the back of my bedroom door, so that's why I always buy stickers. And I only bought a few this time. So one of them is I got a free Goosebumps, the musical one. I got this Nebula and Gamora one. And then Nandor from What We Do in the Shadows. And it's from the episode where he sucks the blood of a drunk passerby and then he's not sober. And then this is actually a print that an artist was giving out for free, kind of to advertise their book series. I do think that this art is really pretty, but so then this is their book series, so I might have to check that out. Okay, so these are probably two of my favorites that I got. So yesterday we met David Tennant, which was probably the highlight of the con. We're huge Doctor Who fans, and I am a huge fan of Good Omens, and I dressed up as Crowley. So I got two Good Omens art prints from different artists. So this one is them at the beginning of the creation of the galaxy. And then this is them as angels. And I just thought it was so pretty, and it makes me so happy.
Yeah, there were a lot of Crowleys yesterday.
There was a lot of couples dressed up as Crowley and Aziraphale.
Yeah, so saw a lot of that. I'm sure a lot of people were also going to see David Tennant. He had photo ops, signatures, stuff like that.
Okay, and then I got 3 art prints from the same person. So Wanda and Vision, and it says, "What if grief, if not love persevering," which that line kind of makes me cry. Captain America with Thor's hammer, and then President Loki, which I might give President Loki to one of my friends because they are obsessed with Loki.
A lot of Lokis yesterday too. Tom Hiddleston was there, so a lot of people were definitely dressed up to see him.
The Loki costumes were the most that I saw, because you can honestly just wear green. And
a lot of people just with green with some kind of horn or gold piece, and it was a Loki.
Because I would say that at conventions generally Deadpool's and Harley Quinn's are like the most cosplays that I see, but I think Loki's
I definitely think Loki is what I saw, and the Azrael and Crowley too. I saw a lot of them. Aziraphale. Sorry, I don't watch Good Omens.
Okay, and then this is another art print I got. It's of Mulan. I bought from this artist before, so when I saw her, I was really happy. And then my last thing is also probably one of my favorite art prints that I got. I just think it's so pretty. It's a What We Do in the Shadows print of Laszlo and Naja. And I like the red of it. I just think it's really pretty. So yeah, that is everything we bought at New York Comic Con.
That is our haul. We had a good time. We've been going for a really long time.
Since 2012.
Yep, so another convention successful. Yeah,
we saw a lot of good cosplays, which there will be another video about that. And we are exhausted.
Yep.
It is exhausting. My feet hurt.
It's the morning.
Sure your feet hurt.
It's the morning
My back
after,
hurts.
And I don't think anyone wanted to get out of bed this morning, but here we are showing you guys our haul. We hope you enjoyed our little haul of our things.
And look for more videos about New York Comic Con.
Yep, definitely. I'm sure there will be quite a few.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, performing for the first time as Dazzler, Taylor Swift.
We interrupt this broadcast for a special report. Little Rascals legend Buckwheat has been shot. That's right, the actor was shot coming outside of a club. More news to follow. Now back to our show, still in progress.
Cha-ching! Cha-ching is right.
We saw, along with the original art that we talked about and all the other stuff, a lot of very expensive comic books at Comic-Con.
Very expensive and very rare.
Very rare.
Comic books. Some of the rarest comics that you could buy. So don't forget to subscribe to us, like us, join us as a membership either here on YouTube or on Patreon. Help us to become the people who buy these kind of comics. We can actually show actual live versions. I can hold one in my hand.
Yeah.
Showcase number 4 is at the top of my list.
Why is that?
It's First Appearance of the Flash.
Yes, I know.
So let's look at some of the really, really rare and expensive comics that we saw during New York Comic Con. So one of the first ones we saw, we spent a lot of time in this section too. It was really close to the art section. Again, probably the expensive section where nobody was but us.
Ironically, the part with a lot of comic books had the least amount of people.
Which I have, if I was doing a grumpy old man, I would say, back in my day,
we went for the comics.
Comic-Con has gone from comics in this much space to comics in 2 aisles. We really had to search to find comics. So here are some of the best comics that we saw while we were walking around. Superman #1, a 3.0.
Yep.
It's an iconic issue. It's the first Superman issue on his own, which didn't come along after Action Comics.
I believe it was less than a year.
#1. He was selling so much with Action Comics that everyone was asking for the comic with Superman. So finally, National Publications put out Superman, and this is the first issue. The Brave and the Bold #54, which is the first appearance of the Teen Titans, a 5.5. I'm not a graded person, but these were all graded. So it's selling for $400. This is probably the cheapest one of any of the comics that we saw.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought that was one of the cheaper ones.
We probably should have started with that one. We went from big Superman to a Teen Titans.
Yeah, but it's funny, I didn't even notice that that was the first one with the Teen Titans, because I didn't realize that they didn't premiere in a book that's called Teen Titans.
Well, back then a lot of the comics premiere in a anthology series to see how it went. Martian Manhunter, I think, also appears in Brave and the Bold first. The Flash appears in Showcase. Same thing with
Green Lantern.
First Green Lantern. A bunch of them appear.
Or the second Green Lantern.
To see how they sell. And then look at Superman. As we just said, Superman appears, takes him a year to get his own comic. He appears in Action Comics first to see if people like him. This next one is a big one for our generation.
This is,
I didn't know something about this until doing this research. Giant Size X-Men #1, which is the first appearance of the new X-Men. This is a 3.0. It was selling for $1,500. I did not know that this is the second appearance of Wolverine.
Second appearance of Wolverine.
He appears for the first time in Hulk 181, which we also saw, is Hulk 181.
Right.
That's first appearance. Second appearance is not until the X-Men. He joins the X-Men.
No, he doesn't show up again. Yeah, because I think he was created by Len Wein or co-created by him.
Len Wein.
And then Len Wein wasn't the writer of Giant Size X-Men, was he?
No.
No, but they wanted to do something with the character, and that's why Claremont used it?
Claremont used it, and he's the only one on the team that's not making his first appearance in this comic.
Right, everybody else.
Storm, Nightcrawler, Colossus, Thunderbird all make their first appearance in this. Characters created specifically for the X-Men.
Right.
Wolverine's the only character they pull from another
Comes from the outside.
comic, which has been interesting to me. This would be a great comic to add to my collection. And at $1,500, it's not out of the realm. No, not now, but at some point it could definitely be. This is another one that's on my list. Avengers #1. 4.0 selling for $3,750.
Right.
I do not believe it's the first appearance of anyone.
No, I think they all appeared before that.
Somewhere else.
But interestingly enough, wasn't the first Avengers this #1 the inspiration for DC to do Justice League? To bring back the Justice Society under a different name? Because they saw how well Avengers was doing and how well Fantastic Four had been doing. So they said, give me a team book.
Isn't it the other way? Doesn't the Fantastic Four copies of the Justice League?
I know, I thought they came... Fantastic Four's Challenges of the Unknown. That's already... We already know.
They're copies of
which Kirby created for
which
DC.
is almost exactly the same.
Well, anyway, I'm pretty sure that these Avengers #1 and the Justice League #1 are related in some way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of Fantastic Four, we saw some great Fantastic Four. Hopefully one day will be in my collection. Brian insists I'll finish.
We saw two Fantastic Four number ones, a 6.5 and a 9.0.
Wow.
Probably not going to get to afford the 9.0.
I didn't notice that one.
We did.
I didn't
I
notice
noticed it because you know I'm looking for it. Contemplated stealing it, but you know it was under glass, so. We also saw some great Fantastic first appearance in Inhumans.
Yep.
First appearance of Galactus.
That's a cool one.
The first big one I want to get is the first Galactus.
That Galactus story is probably the first sort of like big deal Marvel story. That really grabs everyone's
But if you look at Fantastic Four, and if you've watched all the videos, I'm going to try to finish the whole run at some point.
Yeah.
There are some bangers in there. Inhumans, Galactus. This next one, Fantastic Four number 5. First appearance of Doctor Doom.
Yep.
This is a 3.0.
Yeah.
$5,500 for a 3.0. So I guess I'm looking specifically at the Fantastic Four just because of what I'm collecting.
Yeah.
But oof. If I would have had about $20,000, $30,000, I would have bought.
Oh yeah, for sure.
4 of these. Right?
Yeah.
Just one of the Fantastic ones. I wanted to both of them. So just 4 and not 5. One of the ones that caught Brian's eye was this Devil Dog Dugan.
Well, Dugan is one of my favorite characters from the S.H.I.E.L.D. comics from the 70s. He looks a lot different.
Yeah, well, the cover is a little bit...
Well, the cover's hilarious because he's speaking to this little Asian boy in like this sort of broken English, like trying to make him understand him. But the little Asian boy or girl?
I think it was a girl.
It was a girl, I'm sorry.
This is a girl.
Right. Responds to him in this perfect diction and syntax. And it's just a great joke about what do you want to call it, like prejudice or bigotry and racism. It's a great joke. I love that.
Yeah, Brian picked that one out. That's his. Next one is probably the biggest one we saw, Amazing Fantasies number 15, which is the first appearance of Spider-Man.
Spider-Man?
This was,
Who's that?
He might be okay. 2.5 for $25,000.
Yeah, I really thought you should have got that. But.
Do you know Joe has one?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
A friend of
we know
ours
somebody
bought
who has
one recently.
Yeah.
Within the last 2 years, an Amazing Fantasy number 15. Maybe. Next, the Spider-Man number 1, 2.0, 7,000. So you can get Spider-Man's first issue for a lot less than his first appearance.
It's like you're saving yourself $7,000.
And the thing that we debated there is we saw a 2.0 at 7. We saw a 3.0 for
$9,500.
That's a lot. That's a huge difference.
How could it be a $2,500 difference?
$2,500 difference.
It doesn't really make sense.
I'm not an expert in any way on grading. I don't understand how the levels work.
Nope.
If you want to explain to us in the comments how a 3.0 is that much more than a 2.0.
Yeah, I would really like to know.
It because I have never bought a graded comic. I don't have a plan to ever buy one.
You will.
Maybe Fantastic Four number 1.
You get it. Yeah.
We also saw a Batman number 1.
That was pretty cool.
At a 5.5. That's cool. That to me, that's one of those ones where you see that and it's just that's history. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is history.
Sure.
The first Batman and Robin in a comic. It's history.
I'm more. I got to say, I'm much more prone to be wowed by the Golden Age stuff.
Me too.
You know,
the DC Golden Age.
Yeah,
stuff
the DC Golden Age.
And there's some. We actually did see a Marvel Comics number 1, which is Golden Age Marvel 2.5.
That was when it was timely
the
publications.
First Marvel comic.
Yep. Yeah, it has Human Torch on the original Human Torch on the cover.
Like that. We saw one of these there too, which is that's really an iconic.
Absolutely.
Cover. One of Brian's other favorite covers was this one,
Crime Suspense Stories.
There you go.
That's the one with the severed head.
That's correct.
Well, that was a very big point of contention in the hearings over the Seduction of the Innocent and Frederick Wertham and what led to the creation of the Comics Code Authority. That was a cover that was pointed out during the trial while Al Gaines was on the stand testifying in EC's defense. He really didn't make a very good case for
this other one
artistic.
Black Cat one was also.
Oh, that was another one. The guy with the radium. His face is being melted by radium. They actually, Super 7 did a figure based on that image.
So, I mean, we were seeing some of the iconic superhero comics that I would love and some of the iconic, grotesque, protested comics that Brian would love. War Against Crime is another one.
The War Against Crime, that was the issue that premieres The Crypt Keeper and kicked off Tales from the Crypt.
We just talked about that in another video. Link will be right there.
Yeah, so it's technically Tales from the Crypt number 1.
Right.
Even though it was an issue of War Against Crime, they just didn't change the numbering. Because they wanted to save on postage.
That's correct.
For subscriptions.
Brian that recently.
Mm-hmm.
See, you remember.
Yes.
We also saw a Star Wars number 1.
Which I am convinced I had.
It was more expensive than I thought it would be.
I'm convinced I had that.
$4,500 for a Star Wars #1.
Yeah.
It was graded high, so that's probably why.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the final one we saw, close to my heart, Showcase #4, 6.0.
There you go.
That's one comic I would love to own at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it a number of occasions. It's always in the thousands. I would have to cut back on my other spending for quite some time.
Like food.
And then I would have to really, I might have to, how much can you get for a kidney? If anybody wants to offer me money for a kidney, I may use it to buy a Showcase #4. But again, a lot of Comic-Con, when you go to Comic-Con, a lot of people going for the exclusives and going for the big Funko booths and the big Super 7 booths.
A lot more toy and video games.
Yes.
Yeah.
We went for some of the older stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we really looked at.
By the way, just in case everyone's not clear, the Showcase #4 is the premiere of The Flash, but it also is very important in comic history for one other reason.
I know what the other reason is.
It is the kickoff of the
Silver Age.
Silver Age of comics.
Yeah. He kicks off almost every one of the ages.
The Flash in somewhere.
Because he kicks off the Bronze Age with
the death in Crisis on Infinite Earths. Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a big
big deal
in comics, and movie may not have been so good, but comics. So these were the. I didn't want to number them because we saw so many. These were the most expensive,
and
rarest,
ones
coolest
that jumped out at us.
comics that caught our eyes. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we don't always see these at our local conventions, but that's why New York Comic Con is good to stop at. Some of the big ones are good. We get to see some of the biggest books ever made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty.
They
cool.
wouldn't let us hold them because
especially for people like us who are super interested in the history of comics.
Yeah. So this was cool. So we'll take a little break.
Be right back
on the next one. Bye. I hope you enjoy.
We're back in the basement.
We're back in the basement. We're back to our normal place.
Back home.
We're going to do our haul video as we normally do our haul videos. Hopefully you're enjoying the rest of our look at New York Comic Con, and we're back. The daughters don't have full takeover of the haul. We actually do our own haul video. Here is what we bought at New York Comic Con. Much smaller than our normal comic book haul, but still good nonetheless. Would you like to start us off, Brian?
Yeah, I'm going to start off with what I thought was my best grab of the day.
Someone just commented, "Where's your wig?"
That was my hair.
Oh.
Okay, the bald is a cap I wear over that blonde hair because I want to make myself more humble. So one of my favorite things that I got that day was I stopped at 2000 AD had a booth of their own, which I haven't seen them around in a while. I kind of thought that they were out of business. I was glad to see them around.
I'm surprised they had a booth. I don't think they've ever had a booth that day. I've never noticed it before.
Unfortunately, I got to them closer toward the end of the day, and I had already spent a bunch of money, so I didn't grab
Brian
as much.
made it rain at New York Comic Con.
I didn't grab as much as I would have liked from them. I was telling you about that history book that they were selling called Comic Book Punks, which is coming out in a month or two.
Well, you bought Superman #1, so how much more money could you?
Right, how much more could I spend, right? So I got a couple of things. They were giving these away for free, but I just want to throw these out there. This is a new series of the Battle Action comics, which you have writers like Garth Ennis and some other big-time British creators involved in this. It's an action story, war story, very much up Garth Ennis's recent work. And that was one of the free ones. Another thing with Garth Ennis, new series of Rogue Trooper. Those of you who are familiar with Rogue Trooper, it's a post-apocalyptic war story about a superhuman soldier who is sort of looking for somebody in the wastelands of the future. It's, again, written by Garth Ennis and illustrated by Patrick Goddard. Then we have this little sample of 2000 AD, The Art of Steve Dillon.
That's cool. That's when you were talking about.
Yeah, on the cover you have this character, which is Justice Finnegan from the Irish future of Judge Dredd, and you have Dredd on the other side.
Is there an actual character in the comics?
No, there is an actual character. There's the Irish judges, which are they're not as severe as the American judges, like Dredd and them. It's a funny little side story where they go to Ireland.
Okay.
Ireland's not called Ireland anymore. It's called the Emerald Isle.
Okay.
And these are the guys who keep
drinking a Guinness.
Oh, they're allowed to drink on duty, the Irish judges. Yeah.
There's a big controversy here in New York right now if cops are allowed to smoke on duty.
I think they should. They have a hard job.
I don't know how they could tell them that they're the only ones that can't.
Right, I know.
But that's a debate right now, very similar to that.
Yeah, very, very cool.
So this looks interesting.
No, it's good.
Especially for a freebie.
Well, that's just the art of Steve Dillon from
cool.
2000 AD. They're actually releasing a bunch of art books of different famous artists who worked on 2000 AD.
Very cool.
Yep.
And this was free?
Yep, that was free.
That's cool. I should have got one. Thanks for getting one for me. Jerk.
It was a hectic day.
Yeah, okay.
I can barely remember what happened.
Keep going.
This is another free. They give a piece of
one for me.
Best of 2000 AD. It's a sampler of different stories from the 70s and 80s from 2000 AD by a variety of different artists and writers. Right here, you got a story by, I believe this is the one by
How many
Alan
are you going to say in
Moore.
this one?
I'm going to keep going. I don't care. Just going to keep going. So yeah, free Best of 2000 AD.
Thanks for getting one for me.
And then I bought the first volume that's being
Did
published.
you get it just because you bought did you get the freebies because you bought the book?
No, they were just being given away.
Thanks.
I didn't think you liked any of this stuff.
I like Judge Dredd. You know
Okay.
that.
Best of 2000 AD. This is the first trade paperback in the series they're releasing. It's a selection of the best stuff from the history of the magazine. There's some really good stuff in here. Really great stuff.
Did you read it yet?
I read the first Dredd story that's in here, and it's typical wonderful Dredd.
Dreads.
Yeah,
I haven't read Dredd
great.
in a long time.
I love Dredd. I absolutely love Judge Dredd.
I read it back in the 80s.
Yeah. You know, actually, it's funny. I didn't know about Judge Dredd until we talked about Anthrax. I didn't know about Judge Dredd until I heard the song I Am the Law on that album.
They were huge fans.
Big fans.
They were big comic book
Big comic fans, yeah, still are.
That's why they have that comic book. If you saw earlier in the show, we looked at the actual comic book based on their album.
You know, it's funny. There's actually a collectible single from I Am the Law, their song about Judge Dredd,
right,
where you got an insert that folded out, and it was a cartoon of the band all dressed as judges.
Oh, cool.
And it was drawn by their drummer.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So
let's look at some of the stuff I bought. Then we'll go back to Brian.
Mm-hmm.
I'm continuing my run on New Warriors. I bought New Warriors number 19. This is the first appearance of Smiling Tiger. And it's actually has an X-Force Gideon appearance. Gideon has one of the biggest first appearances ever. He appears first in X-Force number 98. That's why it's worth so much money, because it's a Gideon first appearance. Joking, it's the first appearance of Deadpool. I bought New Warriors number 33. New Warriors number 34. There were not a lot of dollar bins, and you know that we love dollar bins.
No.
So we spent a little bit of time with hardly anybody at the comic book booths. Everyone sticks to the more exclusive stuff, the big bang stuff. We were looking at the stuff we always look at. New Warriors number 35.
Zid Fighters from Outer Space on the back.
This kind of looks like that first appearance of Cable too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
New Warriors number 37.
I like that cover.
You're gonna like the next one too. New Warriors number 44.
Oh yeah.
It looks like a real person, but it's not.
Right. It looks almost like it could be a Dave McKean or
like a great
Bill
cover.
Sienkiewicz.
New Warriors number 46. As you can see, I'm on a New Warriors kick.
There
There's
you go.
Cable and some of X-Force.
It's funny, I don't know the New Warriors at all. Like, I know Speedball was in it.
51.
Nemora.
Yeah.
But other than that, not really. I don't know much about
It's a
them.
great series.
I know they kicked off Civil War. The first
53.
crossover. Civil War.
I bought a lot of these. 54. 55. JLA is another series I'm trying to finish. JLA number 17.
Prometheus. This is, it's not the first appearance of Prometheus, but I think it's the first storyline that he appears in JLA. I'm not sure.
19.
If you guys know, comment and let us know.
50. I also bought some more expensive books. I bought a Justice League
These are nice.
of America number 17.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Pretty good condition.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Another series I hope to finish one that I try to pick up at least one at every convention I go to. This one I happen to pick up 2. Also bought number 46. This is key number 2. It's the first Silver Age appearance of Solomon Grundy. And the first appearance of the Silver Age Sandman.
Oh, nice.
So again, there's only $5 and it's a key in the
cool.
run. So
yeah,
I have a lot of the older ones. Iron Man number 101. It's key number 3. It's the first appearance of the Dread Knight, and it's a Frankenstein appearance.
Nice.
And you saw our video on all of the great key issues, the big graded ones, tons of Fantastic Four. I had to pick up a Fantastic Four 184. It's key number 4. It's the first appearance of the Eliminator. Unfortunately, it's not the first appearance of Galactus, which I would love to add to my collection, or the first appearance of Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
But it is a first appearance. Back to you.
Very cool. So, as we pointed out, I buy a lot of independents when I go places. And I saw the booth for Vault Publishing, and I grabbed a couple of things from them. I got a graphic novel called Mindset, which has this really cool Bill Sienkiewicz style artwork inside. Let me try to get it, because I really like that Dave McKean, Sienkiewicz kind of style that's done there. I have not had a chance to read this yet, but I am really looking forward to getting that moment. I also got this book, which is called Heathen. Story takes place during the Viking era in the Norselands. Very cool. I like that kind of story. Barbarians.
Yep.
So to speak.
Brian's first purchase, the first purchase of any of us from the convention was at this booth.
At Vault.
You can see Brian right here doing his first purchase.
There I am again.
It's Brian making his first purchase of the day. He's breaking the ice. He's at the Vault stand. What's the first thing you're buying at the convention, Brian?
Figured out Blue Flame. Possibly Mindset from Vault.
You need one more to make it worth it. 2 for $30. Did you buy Tim Seeley one? You can get him to sign it for you. There's not even a line yet.
Sign it.
And on Chad's recommendation, I picked up this from Vault.
Blue Flame is good.
The Blue Flame.
Interesting. Did you start reading it?
Haven't started reading it yet, no. But it's a superhero story, a sci-fi superhero story. Looks pretty cool. So, looking forward to these.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, going to spend some hours with these.
I also picked up some other stuff, some non-comic book stuff. I picked up the Big Barda exclusive. This makes me very hopeful that we will be getting a Mr. Miracle finally, and some other New Gods. I know there is Darkseid, but Darkseid is above the New Gods now. He's not really part of the New Gods anymore.
You're talking about the Pops.
I'm talking about Pops.
Right.
I am so hoping that we get...
Well, we need a Calabac and an Orion.
I'm really... My fingers are crossed.
The Black Racer.
If I will buy every one of the New Gods that they put out. Bug.
Yeah.
Specifically Mr. Miracle. Mr. Miracle is one of my favorite characters. That would be awesome. My daughter's picked up the Pizza Rat.
Very cool. I didn't know that was out there. I would have gotten that.
Pizza Rat.
Yeah, I definitely would have got
really
that.
Interesting looking.
That's cute.
It's a New York thing. Used to be the name of our Staten Island had a team we called the Pizza Rats.
Well, the Staten Island Yankees had an alternate name. One of their alternate names was the Pizza Rat. I have a hat. I don't know if you might have seen it in some of our shorts.
And we also got an autograph from Doctor Who himself.
Right. You met the
David
Doctor.
Tennant. Me and my girls was the highlight of the convention for the three of us. He was super cool. Really awesome. He worked with my cousin in a show. My cousin is an actor. He was on Broadchurch with him. Yep. And I did go to the Xavier University gift shop.
Yeah, that was cool.
If you saw earlier in this episode.
By Heroes and Villains.
They had run out of a lot of things, but they had some freebies, had some free stickers.
Nice.
I picked up each of the free stickers. And I bought the last pin that they had. I wish they had all of them. I probably would have bought all. They had Beast left. They had these to start the convention, but they had sold out. It was Saturday early. How the hell did they sell out so fast? You think they'd put enough aside for the whole day?
Which character on the back there do you think would have sold out first?
Wolverine sold out first.
Guaranteed.
Would be my guess.
Guaranteed Wolverine.
The Wolverine would sell out first, then probably maybe Magneto and Storm.
Yeah.
Beast last.
I would have put Rogue.
I think I liked it just because they look like the old figures.
Yeah. I would have guessed they're the 90s X-Men.
Yeah, 90s X-Men from the show. I also picked up necessities.
Hot Flips.
Bags and boards.
Hot Flips.
Not a great price either.
No, that was one of my problems with Comic-Con in general.
Yes.
The prices were not that great.
Here comes.
I'm a grumpy old man. I don't...
The prices were, I thought, inflated.
And that's a lot of the comic vendors we saw the prices on some of their comics with Dollar Bin comics, and they were trying to sell them for $5 to $10. And I think the reason behind that is because there's a lot of people who are at Comic-Con who are not collectors. They're they go because it's Comic-Con and they have to be there for the day and they have to experience the whole thing. And you can overcharge for a Batman comic because someone might just want to pick up a Batman comic. Comic-Con is not the convention for us to buy stuff. As you can see from our haul, it's our smallest haul we've ever had on here. It's good for the other stuff we talked about throughout this video today.
Yeah. If you want to see, historical pieces in person, things
awesome
like that.
Comics that you would never see at a regular convention just because, you're not going to a local convention. The guy's not selling Superman #1.
No.
So it's cool. It has its things.
Last one?
Last one.
So the last thing I want to talk about that I picked up was this.
Jessica Rabbit. Oh, sorry. He picked up Jessica Rabbit.
That didn't happen. I think no. The anthology We Suck at Comics from Wayward Raven Press. We actually spoke to these guys.
We did.
They're pretty cool.
Guys
are
earlier in the show. They actually
and there's actually a photo of them here in the book.
Those are who we saw.
That's him. And along with every purchase, you were given a free bottle of beer that they make.
Beer and comics. So, that should be the name of our show.
So I got this anthology, which is a lot of different independent artists and writers who are all writing and drawing about the theme of rejection. Hence,
notice how he doesn't have the beer anymore.
Hence, We Suck at Comics. It was a Hefeweizen. I actually didn't drink it.
And he drank it. And the funny part is, if I pan down, Brian has 10 more of these books piled on the floor. He just kept going back to them. He's like, "Can I get another one of those books?"
I spent $400 on the same anthology and got.
Anyone want to buy a We Suck at Comics?
10 beers.
Brian just kept getting the
10 beers. I could
as many beers as he could have gotten
at a small fraction of the price.
No, it's probably
not at Comic-Con. Actually,
it was probably cheaper to buy the comic and get a free beer than to buy a beer at Comic-Con. That's another thing. We had at Comic-Con. I don't want to sound like
a grumpy old man. I don't.
Every time we had possibly the worst pretzel we have ever had at Comic-Con.
Oh, that was a bad pretzel.
So awfully bad.
Yeah, that was a bad pretzel.
Bad pretzel.
Well, it's funny because that's all I had that day were 2 bottles of water.
Me too.
A bag of M&Ms and a pretzel, and that cost me $20.
$20. Yikes.
I was so hungry at the end of the day.
If you watched our previous video where we gave you the 10 things you should bring with you to New York Comic Con, one of the things we said was snacks, and we didn't listen.
Yeah.
We didn't buy snacks, and I'm telling you, there was points where we were starving.
Someone didn't bring diapers because there was poop in our salad.
There you go. Thanks for watching.
That's our show, everybody. It's been a great week. We had a great time. Special thanks to Taylor Swift for that unbelievable performance as Dazzler,
Charlie Cox,
Al Milgrom,
Rob Liefeld,
Jack Kirby,
Eli Manning,
and all the other people we forget.
Thanks and good night.
Thank you and good night.
This is what happens when you spend a day at Comic-Con. Your body shuts down almost completely. Brian can no longer move. And this concludes our episode.